have two more speakers. With the apology from Her Excellency Angela Gerekou. We come to now Angela Gerekou, and then we have Professor Seng. So we would like to request both of them for the 10 minutes intervention. So as one of our religious saints said, the women are one half of the society and give birth to other half. Here, ISESCO is committed to the Sustainable Development Goals as expounded by the United Nations Development Program and progressively embraced by several other organizations and governments throughout the world. I am excited to present our next distinguished speaker, who is known globally as an advocate of Sustainable Development Goal 4 and 5, gender equality and quality education. Her Excellency Angela Gerekou is serving as the president of Greek National Tourism Organization at the Ministry of Tourism, Greece. She holds a degree from the School of Architecture of the University of Rome, Italy. She has served the Greek government from the positions of Deputy Minister for Culture and Tourism 2010 to 2009 to 2010, and Deputy Minister for Culture 2014 to 2015. She was elected many times as a member of the Greek Parliament for Corfu. Since 2011, she is president of the board of directors of the Ionian Cultural Center, which hosts the Corfu Festival of Arts. She is also the president of Lafcadio Hearn Foundation. She is a volunteer participant in various social initiatives for environmental protection, youth culture, and sensitive social groups. She is an ambassador for tourism in ICC, Hellas. And above to all, she is an activist for sustainable development and women's rights. She is vice president of World Business Angels Forum's Global Women Leader Committee, which I believe that she's also going to speak on 15 and 16th February with some world leaders on this World Business Angels Forum Women Investment Conference next week. Ms. Gerekou will represent Greece as a senior senator in the Grand Assembly of the World Business Angels Investment Forum, which is also as a collaborator of G20. So Her Excellency Angela Gerekou, we are very excited to listen to you. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for your presentation. My greetings from Greece, from Athens. First of all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Salim M. Al-Malik, and thanks to ISESCO for this invitation to be among of such important women in life and in science. Particularly this day, the day of celebration of women and girls in science. Thank you for your presentation again. I would like to add that I'm also an artist, and as an activist for human rights and especially for women and sustainable development goals of UN, I take this opportunity you give to me, and I would like to put on the table the frame of the gender equality and of course of social equality. We can see more than clearly while the world has made progress on gender equality and the empowerment of women with the Millennium Development Goals, including equal access to primary education for boys and girls, women and girls continue to suffer discrimination and violence in every corner of the world. If you don't eliminate the violence, we cannot really talk about the real progress in our society. That's why we must share solutions and chart a path forward as a community to build back better. We must create a practical guide to build more equitable societies, offering concrete actions aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. Equality cannot be postponed. The impacts from COVID-19 are falling most heavily on women, as we know. To acknowledge this without changing outdated structures and stereotypes, it is not an option. We must all write a new social narrative where women are agents of change. And the change starts from equal education. Gender equality in education is not only a fundamental human right, but also a necessary foundation for a peaceful, sustainable, and prosperous world. By providing women and girls with equal access to education, healthcare, decent work, and equal representation in political and economic decision-making processes, will strengthen sustainable economies, providing benefits to societies and to humanity as a whole. Of course, we need strong men to support and to believe in this power of the strong women. Equality between men and women is an integral part of human rights and a fundamental criterion for democracy. Furthermore, we need to be efficient, effective, innovative, secure, fast, agile, and high quality. We need women's full and effective participation in decision-making in public life, as well as the elimination of violence for achieving gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. We're passing through a COVID era, a dramatic COVID era, and we have to think especially in the post-COVID era. As Winston Churchill allegedly advised, never waste a good crisis. Even as we deal with the dramatic pandemic's impacts on health, society, and the economy, we understand that it could offer an unprecedented opportunity to challenge and overcome these biased norms, structures, and legislation still shaping reception of women. Women in science and women leaders in general have demonstrated their skills, knowledge, and networks to effectively lead in COVID-19 response and recovery efforts. Today, there is more acceptance than ever before that women bring different experiences, different way of thinking, perspectives and skills to the table and make irreplaceable contributions to decision policies and laws that work better for all. Despite women making up a majority of frontline workers, there is disproportionate and inadequate workers. There is a representation of women in national and global COVID-19 policy spaces. To uphold women's rights and fully leverage the potential of women's leadership in pandemic preparedness and response, the perspectives of women and girls in all of their diversity must be integrated in the formulation and implementation of policies and programs in all spheres and at all stages of pandemic response and recovery. The overall effect is that the gradual progress towards gender equality seen in recent decades could not only stall, but be reserved, especially in the COVID era. Women were hit the most, as we know. Already more than 28 million women over the age of 25 are estimated to have left the labor market in 55 high and middle income countries over the last year compared to 24 million men. Given that women were already less likely to be in the workforce, this represents a serious threat to the economic status of huge numbers of women. On a global scale, it's thought the pandemic will push a further 47 million women and girls into extreme poverty by 2021. Despite the clear evidence that women are disproportionately suffering economically from the effects of the pandemic, the vast majority of measures that have been enacted by policymakers do little to address the increased burden of women. Perhaps the biggest step would be simply recognizing the value of the unpaid domestic and caring work done by women, pandemic or not. The 16 billion hours spent on unpaid caring every day would present nearly a tenth of the world's entire economic output if it was paid at a fair rate. Women were grossly undervalued before the pandemic. Now the situation is getting even worse. So we can see that in this period of crisis, we need more women to take the lead. Good leadership is crucial, and there is perhaps one silver line, which is that this crisis represents an opportunity for leaders to create more team cohesion and innovation in the face of adversity. Leaders bring people together around the passion for a common purpose to make this world a better place. I believe it is very important to create a central, a clear list of priorities. And we start by being, first of all, authentic and sincere, first of all, with ourselves. To achieve gender equality and social equality, of course, we all have to take action. And we have many ways to act for that reason. And for me, especially for this period, one of the most effective vehicles is art. So I choose the vehicle of art to raise awareness with an interactive exhibition representation. I believe that cultivation, education through art is the first step towards change for a better future for all of us, especially for our children. So art speaks a language that everyone can understand and has the power to motivate and educate people across countries, culture, economic, and social backgrounds. So I have the joy and the honor to be ambassador of this project, of this campaign. I'm not a doll project, we call it. Refers to the SDG 5 exactly. These six sculptures with the sustainable material of the series are not a doll project that were created as a unique original work, each one, for this purpose, talk about sexual harassment, rape, intimate partner, family, work violence, physical, sexual, psychological, verbal, financial, forced and early marriage, female genital mutilation, FGM, of course, trafficking in women and girls, cyber abuse. While the hashtags I'm not a doll and she's not a doll interact each other and the message goes viral all over around the world. So we choose this particular subject and topic to project this terrible issue, but because we believe that it helps more, that we believe in that, the young girls and boys, that they can approach this terrible issue without fear through this action, the dolls, the way to represent these dolls. So I can share my, unfortunately, I would like to share with you some photos with this campaign, but maybe at the end I can say, because we didn't practice before. So this project, is showing to everybody that in order to achieve gender equality, we must first eliminate all forms of discrimination, harmful practices, violence, and exploitation of women and girls. Especially today, with the COVID pandemic 19, the number of cases related to gender-based violence is increasing dramatically. I will invite you, allow me to invite you to this, to be some kind of supporter of this campaign. We can find this campaign on the social media with this title, I'm not a doll line product. So project, I will be happy to see you. And the elimination of all forms of violence, as well as cyber violence against all women and girls, both in private and public life, including human trafficking, as well as sexual and all other forms of exploitation. Finishing, I would like to repeat that the first step is to educate from the very early age our children. This is our message from Greece I would like to send to you. Conclude, gender bias is undermined our social fabric and devalues all of us. We cannot return to yesterday. Our new normal must be built on equality for women and men in every aspect, and of course in science. It is not just a human rights issue. It is a tremendous waste of the world's human potential. By denying women equal rights, we deny half the population of change to life, of chance, a chance to live life at its fullest. Political, economic, and social equality for women will benefit all the world's citizens. Now is the time altogether to turn this crisis into an opportunity and make the world a better place. I wish you the best to all of you. Thanks again to be part of this team, exceptional team, and happy day of celebration of women and girls. And yes, we need more women in science. Thank you so much. Can I try maybe share my screen? Just a second.
Excellency, didn't get your point.